Back at it again, and I came across this video clip that is absolutely amazing. Amazing. Not a very long video clip. It's only a few minutes long, but incredible clip that I wanted to share with you guys. In this video clip, this is a black woman by the name of Trisha Lindsay. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. I'm sorry, Ms. Lindsay, if I'm mispronouncing it, but she is running for state senate in New York in the 37th district. Okay. And what she says in this video is, I mean, I completely agree with everything that she has to say. I mean, it's completely on point, 100% on point. I also believe she is a civil rights attorney as well. And, you know, so she knows a little something about what she's speaking about. I guess I could say she's also a Republican, although once you watch this clip, you'll know she's a Republican by, you know, some of the things that she's speaking about. It's going to be blatantly obvious, you know, so, but it's an incredible clip that I wanted to share with you guys. And I think, you know, America needs to see this video clip because it's really important what she's talking about here. So with that being said, let's dive in.
Constitution starts. A magistrate is a person that operates under authority. They have power. There are higher magistrates and there are lesser magistrates. The founding fathers of this country understood that there's going to come a point in time where the federal government will need to be checked. If not, they will become tyrants. And that is what's happening now. So, the Declaration of Independence says that everyone, by virtue of being a human being, has the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The federal government, too, their purpose is to protect the rights of those citizens, the rights of us to our life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. The third point of that document is if they fail to protect its citizens and enforce those rights, the citizens have a right to revolt. Do you understand? We have a right to resist, and we have an obligation and a duty to do so.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
You understand when it says a duty to step between a tyrannical government and its laws? They are coming for our children. We cannot sit down.
No.
Every great leader knows, every one of them, even the bad ones know, that if you want to affect the country, you go for its children. When in the world do we start using children as bulletproof vests for us?
Yeah.
When in the world do we start testing things on children?
Legal shield.
They come for us first. And when you come for our children, you have started a war. And they have declared war. And we are answering to that war. We are magistrates. And I need you, each one reach one and teach one. Do you understand? As a magistrate in this country, the United States government, our local leaders have to answer to us. The Ninth Amendment says that any rights that are not enumerated in the Constitution are reserved for the people.
The people.
I want to hear that mandates are not enumerated in the Constitution. Because for the fact that it's not enumerated means that that authority and those rights go to us. Every one of these mandates are illegal. Every single one of them. Under that 14th Amendment, due process and rights to equal protection is the right to protect my body. When you want to push something into my body against my consent, without my consent, it is rape. And this is medical rape.
I told y'all. She was so far, wasn't she? I'm telling you. You know, I just find it funny how, you know, Democrats always come up with this talk of, you know, Trump's the tyrant, Trump's the dictator, he wants to be the authoritarian, he wants to rule over America. But in reality, it's Democrats. It's Democrats. It's Democrats who were for, you know, the mandatory jabs. And we have the video footage of mainstream media calling people terrible folks if they didn't want to get the jab, the anti-vaxxers, right? In making it seem as if, you know, because people wanted to use their right to choose, right? It's funny. It's also funny how they, you know, bring that one up. When it came to the jab, you were a terrible person if you chose, but they want the right to be able to choose to abort kids, but you didn't really have the right to choose to not get the jab. Well, and if you did, they ridiculed you and tried to call you a terrible person and tried to tell you, hey, you couldn't do this, you couldn't do that, you had to stay in the house and this. Like, no right to choose there, but, you know, we want the right to choose to get rid of these kids. It's funny how that works. But anyway. Oh, man. The hypocrisy is rich. Anyway, you know, so there's an example of them wanting to be authoritarians. Another great example is, actually, I might make a video on that. It's when they always try to, and I've shown video clips of it as well, when they always try to say, oh, we're not going to broadcast what Donald Trump is saying. He's broadcasting lies. Like, who made them the arbiters of truth? Who told them that they get to decide what we see and hear? You see what I'm saying? But Republicans and Trump are the authoritarians, but they're trying to decide whether or not we get to see or hear whatever it is that Trump has to say. You know, that's quite interesting to me. Quite interesting. Goodness gracious. I mean, there's so much hypocrisy going on with these folks. It's absolutely insane. So much hypocrisy. You know, it's fine. It's fine to speak your mind as long as you don't speak about certain groups. The moment you do, oh, well, you're a terrible person, blah, blah, blah. You need to be shunned off to the corner of society, blah, blah, blah. You know, the whole nine. You know, there's just so many instances of hypocrisy in these folks wanting to be dictators. Absolute dictators. You know, and I've said this for a while now, the strategy that they've come up with using to become more authoritarian, to reign over us even more, is the whole line of keeping us safe. Be careful when you hear that line or, you know, something similar. Keep us safe. The most recent example was the whole TikTok ban. And I explained my reasoning as to why that was terrible. And I showed you guys the document, right? What people didn't realize about that whole TikTok ban was there was something in the fine print of it. While everybody was, well, not everybody, but while some people that were for the TikTok ban were completely, you know, focused on, oh, well, China is getting our information, blah, blah, blah. Well, a lot of these companies collect our information regardless. So just because TikTok isn't doing it, that doesn't mean Instagram, Facebook, you know, and whatever other apps you may use aren't collecting your data as well. So, like, for me, like, it just, whatever. Do I like it? No, of course not. But I know all of these other apps do it already. So it's not like the end of the world. But what they did was they sewed in, and I forgot the exact wording, and you could look this up. But they sewed in, you know, something into that bill where if a social media company is interfering in an election, they can basically force the sale of that company. So if Joe Biden wins, right? When he wins and X is forced to be sold, I told you so. Now, I highly doubt that he will win. According to all the metrics, all the video clips, I highly doubt that he will win. I'd be willing to bet that he isn't. But in the case that he did, when he wins, I guarantee you, Elon will be forced to sell X because of that bill. You know, but that was all to keep us safe, remember? Even with the jabs, it's to keep us safe, right? Just taking away more from us. All in the name of keeping us safe. So, I just urge you to just be careful whenever you hear, that type of line or a line similar to that, because I don't think they use that line with the whole TikTok ban, but they just said our data was possibly being compromised. So it was basically along the same lines to keep us safe. But in reality, they just snuck a little something in there, a little Trojan horse. So when the time comes, if it ever comes, they're able to take advantage of it. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but shout out to Trisha Lindsay. Matter of fact, I'll pull up. And I don't think I follow her on X. But let me see if I can find her really quickly, so I can pull up her actual X account. Does she have one? Yes, she does. So this is Trisha Lindsay right here. If you want to follow her, this is her at Trisha for Senate. You can pause it so you can type that in if you need to. This is her X account, and actually here's the video right there too. So yeah, there's that for you if you want it. Y'all stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.